Absolutely nothing except I'm gonna do that. That's
You don't have to do all the reading, right? You don't have to do all the.
She would do the reading.
Yeah, I'll do the reading. Yeah,
God
I'll
bless.
just reverse roles today.
There you
Your
go.
practice.
Rise. Everybody rise and say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
To
America.
the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Liberty and justice for all.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Delaney. I believe there is a delay.
The Board of Commissioners approves the June 2nd regular meeting minutes.
Second. Sabrina,
Yes?
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay, is Miss Janet there?
I have one discussion item.
You know, Dad, I just have a real quick question on that, just for consistency's sake. What is the difference in the hiring process in 1 and 2? Because 2, is it because it's the 18 and above that the Board of Commissioners are included on that one and they're not included on 1?
What page are you on, Vicki?
I'm on page 3
Okay.
and 4. In the hiring, number 1, it says, written approval from the county administrator. And in number 2, it says, with approval from the county administrator and the Board of Commissioners. Is this because number 2 has the pay grade 18 and above?
Yeah, generally those are your higher management positions.
Okay, so that's why the Board, okay. I knew there was a reason. I thought that probably was
You can
it.
negotiate on salaries.
Okay,
For pay grades.
Okay.
and above.
sounds good. Thank you.
But the change I'm bringing forward to you guys is on page 6 of the revised compensation plan manual. Under job refactoring. And this is basically the original language used to be if someone's job is refactored to a higher pay grade, the employee would either move to the minimum or step 0 of the new pay grade, or the wage closest, his or her closest to his or her wage. However, we found out this past year, the minimum rate is step 0, which is generally the probationary period. This is, it's meant for a new hire
Right.
during a probationary period. So if someone's job is refactored, they've been in that position for a while and they've taken on additional duties. So now we just figured it made sense to set the minimum rate to be step 1, because step 1 is after probation.
Okay,
So that's the
makes
reason
sense.
for that change. Instead of being a probationary period step rate, it would be step 1, which is generally after the probation.
At the level
At the
that they're
level.
that makes
Yes,
sense.
yes. So that's the only reason why the change. That's the only change made to this.
Okay,
Terrific.
thank
Okay,
you, Jan.
all right. In accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code and the board's resolution 21-0396, part 9, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to. And then number 1, the Board of Commissioners authorized the internal external posting of the non-bargaining position microfilm clerk part-time vacated by Stephen Smith for the Portage County Microfilm Department.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorized the promotion of Shannon Kautzman from facility managers to Deputy Director of Internal Services effective July 1st, 2022.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay. Board of Commissioners approves the revision to the utility billing service representative job description for Portage County Department of Budget and Finance.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorized the wage increase for Andrew Gibson, project engineer for the Portage County Water Resources effective May 30th, 2022, due to the refactoring of the position.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners authorized the promotion of Amy Kurt, office assistant, to personnel and fiscal specialist for Portage County Water Resources effective May 30th, 2022.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorized promotion of Deb Horn, Office Assistant to Personnel and Fiscal Specialist for Portage County Water Resources effective May 30th, 2022.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorized the 7-day internal posting of bargaining position SCADA technician, new position for Portage County Water Resources with external posting if no internal appointment is made.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Resolution.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorized the personnel status change of Larry Dudak, part-time laborer to full-time laborer for Solid Waste Management District effective June 2nd, 2022.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorized the hire of Jane Allman as Social Services Worker 3, Group Home, replacing Nikki Williams in Portage County Department of Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 21st, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agree that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment screenings.
Second. Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners accept the resignation of Anthony Burwell, Social Services Worker 3 with Portage County Job and Family Services effective June 17th, 2022.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners authorized 3-day internal posting of a bargaining position, Social Worker 3, vacated by Anthony Burwell for Portage County Jobs and Family Services with external postings if no internal appointment is made.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves anniversary probationary step increases for the following non-bargaining employees. Mike DeCaro, EMA Logistics Specialist, effective May 30th, 2022. Patricia Corley, Procurement Manager, effective June 10th, 2022.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Thank you, Janet.
All right, that was it. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Janet.
Thanks,
Come
Janet.
on up. So you're really short and easy
Okay,
today.
yeah, I'm just real quick one today.
Okay.
Yeah. Just have a regular share transfer from Leah Fund to Public Assistance Fund.
Okay.
You got it, Sabrina?
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the transfer from Fund 1413 WEO Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund in the amount of $61,383.35.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
show. Allison, good morning.
Good morning. All right, 2 resolutions. The first one is to accept the grant award from the Ohio EPA for the solid waste truck. And the second one is to authorize a VAWA application from FCS.
Okay.
Okay. Portage County Board of Commissioners accepts grant award in the amount of $174,423 from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency 2022 Community and Litter Grant Program on behalf of the Portage County Solid Waste District.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the Portage County Board of Commissioners authorized the application to the Office of Criminal Justice Service Program Violence Against Women Grant VAWA in the amount of $60,000 from with required local match of $20,000 for domestic violence intervention project 2022-WF-VA 2-00076 for the 2023 grant year.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Thank you,
All
Allison.
right.
Joe, good morning. Morning.
Everything's pretty standard, so if you have any questions?
No.
That's good.
You're up, Sabrina.
Okay. In accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code and its board's resolution 210396 and the board's resolution 21-0878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge and approves the county administrator's approval to direct the auditor's office to pay process the June 2nd, 2022 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, then and nows as applicable, contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the June 2nd, 2022 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners signed the satisfaction of mortgage for Brett and Catherine Schultz for $20,053, instrument number 9908986, as requested by Neighborhood Development Services. Documents reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance with no exceptions noted.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay. All right, the
Resolution.
Board of Commissioners approves the go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the transfer from Fund 001 General Fund to Fund 1414 Child Support Administration.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the creation of Fund 4260 for Jones Road Bridge Project.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the transfer from Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1102 Marine Patrol Grant.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Is,
You want to go to miscellaneous?
yep. Sabrina, we're gonna go to miscellaneous.
Okay. Let me get down there. Okay. The Board of Commissioners received the May 31st, 2022 amended certificate of estimated resources for the year beginning January 1st, 2022, as submitted by the Portage County Budget Commission.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledged receipt of the June 2nd, 2022 certificate of the county auditor, and the total annual appropriations from each fund do not exceed the official certificate of estimated resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022, as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners approved the May 2022 adjustments to the Portage County Water, Portage County Sewer, and Streetsboro Sewer billing accounts as reported by the adjustments report submitted and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners acknowledged the receipt of Portage County Investment Portfolio Report for May 2022 as presented by the Portage County Treasurer.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorized the Vice President Anthony J. Madamanti to sign the environmental review documentation and certification form and a community development spot slum blight certification form for the 2022 CDBG allocation grant as presented by the Regional Planning Commission.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the appointment of Mark Atwood, Tim Paul, and Robert Kirster to the Portage County Regional Airport Authority Board of Trustees.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the appointment of Albert Barber to the Portage County Mental Health and Recovery Board.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes?
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorized filing an application with the Ohio Ohio Development Service Agency Office of Community Development for the 2022 CDBG Community Development Allocation Funds.
Second.
Sabrina. Sabrina,
Yes?
Vicky.
Yes.
Tony,
Yes. We are just buzzing along.
Yes, we are.
give Michelle.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Sure. So
Skipping
we
to-
have,
Hold on. Gotta scoop to County Administrator.
okay. Okay, I will be real quick. We had previously talked about updating the first and seventh floor. And so now I have an all-inclusive quote of right around $4,100, and that will allow us to have an electronic monitor on the seventh floor and the first floor, where we would have all of our public notices, job postings, any emergency alerts, anything that we would normally post on our cork bulletin. We can now put on this electronic monitor.
Is that one of those keeps rolling?
Yes. Well, it'll keep, yes, it'll keep changing. Or we could also have a scrolling message go across, which would be kind of nice. Or we could have still pictures and then it rotates. So
Hey,
yeah,
Michelle.
we're kind of just, Yeah.
How large are the screens for that? Because there's a lot of information. How large are the screens for
So
the screen and for all the information that now will not be on the cork boards, but like my example would be like the job postings.
sure. So we requested a quote for 55-inch screens each. We can definitely go larger if you would like, but 55-inch is pretty large.
It's a big screen.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. Yep. Well, that is much better than the original quote that I heard that I thought we had of like 25,000 or something a screen or something. It was like astronomical.
It was crazy. It was crazy expensive the first time around, but this
Yeah.
will suit our purpose. It's going to be much more feasible, and it'll do a good job, I think.
Who's going to have access to post stuff? It's going to be us or internal services?
So it would be human resources and the board.
Okay.
I can add internal services if you like, but yeah.
And so they're going to bring anything that anybody wants to post on that board, they're going to bring up here.
That's right.
So we can say, yes, that's a yay or nay,
That's correct.
and then we can post it.
That's right. Well, like internal services post bids, they would submit it to Amy,
Okay.
and then Amy would post it on our electronic board.
And do we have, you can or you cannot? Divisions? Yes, you can. These are things that are acceptable to be hosted on that board. These are things that we
We need
prefer
a
not to post on.
policy.
So we have a
We
policy.
have that now.
We do have a written policy.
Okay, that's
Right.
stay, we're going to stay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I don't,
Yeah.
I didn't really,
That's
but we
right.
do have one.
Yeah,
Good
and you
morning.
know what,
I'm good.
Michelle, we had talked about yesterday, like other elected officials and directors in the building, they would run everything. They would put the request through just like they would if they wanted to post on the billboard. So we're still the ones that are controlling what goes on there, right? Is that what? you just said?
Absolutely.
Okay.
HR will have direct access because they're going to be doing job postings, and we have quite a few job postings, so there'll be a lot of extra work on Amy, but anything else would go through Amy.
So is there a feation that if I'm standing there and I'm looking at job postings, I could stop or start that screen instead of them keep rolling?
So here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
It's possible, but it is an added cost. So do we want to look into that?
If we're going to have that, if I'm looking for a job
Yeah.
and it's snow plowing for the day or whatever it is, and we have a bunch of things on there, and if it's scrolling through,
You might not get it all.
I think it's going to take me a while to, and can I stop it to
Wait
actually
till it
find that
comes
is?
back. Yeah.
And
We have a bulletin board in the lobby. I mean, HR's own section.
okay, and then the bulletin board will stay.
So it's around the corner, and it would be in addition to. This is really just to bring us up.
Right. So we're having, I get the
Roundabout.
electronic thing to roll. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you can go around the corner and I can look at all the job postings without being on that screen.
Yeah, you got to come up to 7.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
could, but I mean, ideally, if they wanted to come to just the first floor and be able to see the job postings, which is nice to do, right?
Right.
Then let me look into that
Yeah.
and see, maybe we could have a touch screen. I don't know. Let me look
Something
into
look
it.
for jobs. And because I'm going to have to read
Mhm.
and I'm not going to have time if that thing's scrolling.
Right.
Sure.
And, you know,
That'd be-
And they
that'd
might
be-
not wait, it comes around again.
Yeah, and I'm going to go home.
That's right. And maybe we could put a message out there that if you are interested in any one job, to contact Human Resources, and we could print it out for you at that time
Absolutely. Absolutely.
as well,
Yep.
to be a
Sabrina?
little more customer friendly.
Yeah, no, I
mean-
had the same questions yesterday, Tony, was, you know, it's not like we have 1 or 2 job postings. We could have up to 30 and you don't want to have to stand there all day. And I had mentioned to Michelle that maybe we just list the job or positions and then put, you know, see the 7th floor or go to our website or whatever for more information for a position that you might be interested in. And like I said, if they're there, they might as well come up on the 7th floor. If they don't want to do it, you know, they could write the website down and go home and apply online.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else, Michelle?
I'm good. I'm
That's
going to
good.
look into a few things and I'll circle back.
Thank you. Senate Morgenstern, you're up, sir.
Yes.
Good morning.
This is fine.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, good morning.
How are you?
Good. So we heard there was contracts and we didn't know what the contracts were. So you're here to explain that to us and tell you what's been done in the past.
Okay, so just to give you the backstory, it's not really new.
Mhm.
It's new to do it formally with outlining in the way that it should be.
Correct.
We've done that before with cities like Hudson, where we've taken it, it's always been, we'll bill you okay, that's it.
I saw that.
These days, people want to know who's outlining.
Correct. That's why you're here today.
If X happens,
Say forward.
who's responsible for what? So
Right.
basically what that lays out is an opportunity for Lakewood and Sugar Falls, so that they could, if they needed to, wanted to put one of their prisoners with us at the jail. Now, we're not talking about a whole wing like we.
With the federal
thing, now we're taking a whole wing. We're talking about 3 to 4 inmates roughly per month,
Mhm.
just into our other population, but they would be responsible for paying for the housing, medical costs. The contracts then outline if that inmate needs a transport to the hospital,
Mhm.
that they have to provide
Okay.
the security coverage for it as well as the medical costs.
Okay.
It gives the county the opportunity to say we can't do it no more, and then an opportunity to say they don't want to. But it outlines it all a little more formally than we've done in the past.
Now, am I silly? Do we have this contract?
So here's what,
I have copies.
I do not have a copy of that contract,
Yeah.
Brian. Would you, may
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make a copy of that?
You know what, I'll leave them with you.
We're going to clean up a few things on our
Okay.
process, but yeah,
I
it'd be
have worked
helpful
with-
so the
This has
the
been.
board knows what they're signing.
Okay.
I got these are the copies.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, well, I think all 3 of us had the same thing. We're going to have a contract
Yes.
and we haven't been able to read the contract yet.
Okay.
And because all contracts are the boards, even though we're doing it for the sheriff's office.
Yes, that's how I worked with the prosecutor's office
Okay.
here and their law director
Cool.
up
Yep,
there.
yep, yep.
And that basically how that contract came to be was the prosecutor's office and the commissioners had to enter into the agreement. This is how it's like.
Gotcha.
So it was a few months of work to
Yep, yep.
to get that there. We probably should have always been doing it, to be honest with you.
That's, you know, there's so many things that are changing and making better now.
Yeah,
And this is just the next one.
Yeah.
I yeah.
I didn't just think we're talking about a whole wing either. We're talking
No,
about.
yeah. And that's, I knew we did what we did with Lakewood and we added a couple other cities and stuff, but being able to have that formality of this and none of us had seen what the formality looked like yet. So we'll probably, I don't think, is there any other discussion for that?
So let me ask a question.
Mhm.
Under internal services, there's a resolution coming forward. Should we pull that resolution at this time until we've had a chance to
So
review
read
the
it.
contracts?
Agreed.
12 and 13, right? Resolution. Chagrin Falls and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everybody is on board.
Is
and any
Hudson on this?
questions or whatever.
No, we haven't done Hudson at least in a couple of years, and I think part of that was a fallout over who was responsible for something.
Yeah.
Lakewood started under the assistance to help them when they go into the jail.
Right, right.
They've since built their new jail, but there are some opportunities where they said, we would still like to use this. And then when Chagrin Falls
I don't have them listed.
asked a similar question and said, we need to have something that's a little more formal if we're going to do this on a more
Oh,
regular
it's under the
basis.
sheriff.
Is there any difference between the Chagrin Falls and the Lakewood?
No.
Okay, so no matter who it is, all we just got to fill in the blank.
Yeah, basically you would use that same template and change the parties
Okay.
to their
Right.
their law director. Lakewood didn't add anything that Chagrin Falls law director.
Okay.
After our prosecutors created the document, there was a little bit of back and forth with their law director and the prosecutor's office to get there from Chagrin, but once it got Lakewood, they were like,
Okay. All right, great.
in fact, they've already did the other side of it with having their ordinances and passing it and signing off. And then I said, I think.
Yeah, so what we'll probably do is we'll pull that resolution today and have it for next, both resolutions for both separate. That's it.
There's two separate resolutions, right? There's two separate contracts, right? So it'd be a resolution for
And
each
then we'll
contract.
put a
And
resolution. probably
Tony, I have
next.
some questions. I have some questions for Mr. Morgenstern. Hey, Brian, is the jail open at full capacity right now?
They'll have a wing closed, the old female. You know where that is, down the left when you came in the main hall?
Yeah.
Yes, that one is still closed.
Why is that currently still closed?
But we're staffing the rest of it with the staff that we have. And right now, we're getting close, but right now our population hasn't needed to force the opening of that. We've been sitting around 220, 230 on some days, which we start getting into the 260s, then we're going to have to start diverting some work to that wing. But for a staffing perspective, that wing is still closed. We did hire some staff from last year and has made dramatic decreases in that overtime that we had from last year dramatically. I just talked to Ron yesterday to see where we were at. So that part's helping, but yeah.
So Brian, how many beds are available of the 350 at any given time right now for inmates?
Well, if we got into a position where 100 more people came in tomorrow, we have that wing there. Staffed at this point.
So how many beds do you have available now?
Well, take the
That you're
350 and we
staffed.
have- Oh, okay, so there's 34 beds in that A wing.
That's not open.
That's not open, 34.
How many staff would you need in addition to cover that?
Well, if it's full, we'd want to have 2 people down there so
Okay.
you could do that.
So 2 per shift, so that'd be
Yes, 2.
6?
Yes, I should clarify that.
Okay.
Because of the days off. they don't
So
work
you're
7 days.
saying, Brian, so you're saying of the 350 that the only beds that are not available right now is the 34 in A wing?
Correct. All the other beds and all wings are open.
Okay.
So wait, I'm neither not understanding her question or your answer. So we, I'll take something like that. So there are total,
316.
there are 350 beds available
In the whole jail.
in the whole jail.
Yes.
A wing accounts for how many beds? 34. So that leaves what, 34, so 360.
Yeah.
So of that
316.
360 that are available,
Yeah.
how many beds are filled at this moment?
At this
About
moment,
225?
Yeah, yesterday was about 220.
So we have about 90 some beds that are available?
There's 213 this
Okay,
morning.
gotcha.
Okay, yes. She got this
You know-
morning's numbers, so.
Yeah.
So,
And- And Brian, that's what's curious to me is, crime is not down. The opiate epidemic that drove the expansion of this jail is not down. So how is it that we're not utilizing more than around 200 to 225 beds?
Simple answer, there was also a bond schedule change, so a lot of the misdemeanors aren't held in jail like they used to be. So they tend to be in jail for longer, they're there on felonies, but when they changed the bond schedule, we used to hold everybody until they saw a judge.
Okay.
Basically, now pretty much misdemeanors get a PR bond to where they get released minus some other circumstances, crimes of violence, things like that. So that made a little bit of a change to that number too. So you're asking why is it?
Is
You
because
think it'd be
the bond.
higher? Not arrest, I would imagine,
We
are
hear
still
nothing.
up, but
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we talk about
But
housing,
yeah, 'cause-
somebody not stay, they can get a PR bond and go right back out. They're still getting processed at jail a lot of times, but they're not staying in one. of
How long are they in the, if I'm getting a PR bond, how long am I typically enjoying your company?
You could be, it depends on how busy we are.
Okay,
Obviously,
yeah.
you know, if there's 15 people in booking.
Yeah.
And there's one person booking, it takes, 30 to 45 minutes to get through the process.
Okay.
of one.
So I might be there
Assuming
2 or
everybody's,
4 hours.
yes, assuming everybody's cooperative, you're gonna be there a couple hours and then you're gonna get
And then you just
processed and then a
open the
PR.
front door.
Yeah.
walk out.
Has that been fairly successful, Byron? I mean.
For us as the jail, yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, a lot of the agencies are even now do summons and lieu, so they won't even bring them in, they'll give them a citation to show up. We streamlined that a little bit to help some of the activity in the jail because you still need certain things, like fingerprints, DNA depending on the crime, things that need to be collected with that offense. The courthouse now has a fingerprint machine there, so if they didn't actually enter the jail, but then when they go to court, they still need that stuff. They have the ability to gather that process
Okay.
there instead of sending it down. Because we had times where we get 30 people down in the
Yeah.
booking area. Well, 30, like I said,
More
45 minutes to
efficient.
work on. They're going to be there a while and they're not really staying anyway. The judges just needed to get that information
Right.
in with their case.
So we have the judges and the prosecutor saying that we have this increased volume within the courthouse. And Sabrina's question is, we have less people
In jail.
in jail.
In the
I was
jail.
gonna, okay, so that's the reason why. So
Because of the
Yeah.
PR.
the PR bonds.
It's a PR box. Yeah, there probably would be more.
And is that statewide or is that local? Like has PR bonds, it has a jurisdiction.
There's been a lot of push nationwide towards
Mhm.
bond reform on misdemeanor levels.
Okay.
So it's not just local.
Hey, Brian, I
Thank
have
you.
a couple more questions, Tony, for Brian. Brian,
Yes,
what is
please.
the average cost to house an inmate? Understanding the complexity of the needs of the inmates may vary. How much is it costing us per inmate?
Well,
And-
when the math was for the resolution, it came out to roughly $100 a day. When we looked at the 90s figures, it was $82 or something. And then talking to the finance, basically coming up with a formula. I forget what he did. I think it was the budget plus the population divided. It came out close to 100. Now, again, that's what we're contracts. We're not talking about adding personnel. So those costs are the same whether them 4 people were there or they're not.
But when Sheriff Doak was there, he told us it cost about 80 some dollars a day. Since the new sheriff has come in, we've increased salaries greatly. We've added more staffing, and I just question that $100 is enough for the liability that we're taking on. And you can sign all the hold harmless disclaimers you want, but at the end of the day, if something happens in our jail with an inmate outside of Portage County, you know they're going to be coming to us as well. So that's why I was asking, what was the formula? How did you calculate that? Because it just seems really low. And I remember when we were having problems with being over capacity at the jail, Sheriff Doak had looked into, outsourcing our inmates to other jails, and it was cost prohibitive, first of all, and we had to transport them for hearings and everything. So we ended up building a 20-some million dollar pod that now you're saying we probably don't need, because
Well, no,
with the change of stuff, is that what I'm hearing? Because when we have
no, we built that.
so many beds
increased
open,
You got to remember how many beds were built into that entire E-wing. We're talking about the smallest of the pods is the one we've got unoccupied right now. We got, shoot, I should have brought that number. The E-wing, we added a huge amount of beds. There's 2 pods with 34, 36 pods, a 12 dorm pod, and then 4 smaller sections of 4. So, I mean, if we shut E-wing down, we would not have enough people to fit the beds we had. Even if we shut E and opened A, you'd be exchanging 34 beds for well over 100. So.
Since
But
we
but on
built a new,
average right now, Tony, I'm not done yet. On average right now, we have about 90 plus beds. I'll say plus because I look at your census daily and it varies from anywhere from a little over 200 to maybe 225, 227 max. Okay, so we'll say for sake purposes, 90 beds vacant of what you have staffing for. And that does not include the 34 in A wing. Is that correct?
On the numbers that you're referring to, yes, that's
Okay.
what we've been. I guess I want to add though, that I'm not here asking for money for anything.
No.
This is just a way
Yeah.
that
Oh,
we
no,
can give
no,
money.
no. I'm trying to wrap my head around. We
And-
built a
and when you talk-
$20-some million pod and tax the backs of our taxpayers to build that pod. And now we have the majority, almost a third of it, that's unoccupied. And I understand you're not asking for money. I'm just trying to figure out why we have so many openings. And
Well,
no,
that's what we're looking at.
I just need you to educate me, Brian. That's all.
Well, what Doak looked into and the cost prohibitive thing that he's talking about is exactly what is in front of you now. That contract outlines exactly what Doak was looking to do with our end, except now we're doing it the other way around. So we're asking them so that the taxpayers of Portage don't have to cover those costs. We would then generate the revenue. If we had 3 or 4 Lakewood guys or 5 a month, we're talking about, $10,000 to $12,000 a month of revenue, generated revenue that would go back to the general fund, offsetting some of those costs because we have those beds. But if times change in a year and we had those beds full, the contract allows us to say, we can't do it anymore. We got to take care of what we have, and we stop it. But in the meantime, while we have a couple open beds, it's an opportunity to help them and put some money back to the general fund because of the fact that we spend it. And we have inmates, I should add this, I know you said this, but we have inmates every day that are not from Portage County. There was 4 or 5 yesterday that you're holding for extradition. They got picked up, but they have a warrant in Texas. We're holding them for there. We're holding them for another county, and it takes days or sometimes a week for the places that have the active warrant to actually come pick them up. We're holding that liability anyway. We can't bill them for it. That's just part of being in jail. It happens, and you have to hold them until they can come pick them up. This just outlines that if we're going to hold it for them, we're letting them know that they're going to be up front and have to pay for more of the cost.
So this gives you access to charge
Yes, it
for
allows us to
a
say,
service you're currently providing
yeah.
anyway. And we need to then just vet it a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? Just take a look at the contract.
There are 3 things going on. The contract is between us and cities. It's not not state of Texas that we're talking about.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's separate. And Sabrina, to the thoughts you have, when you guys built that jail for 24 million, whatever that thing cost, times were different. And things have changed so drastically in the last 2 or 3 years of what the prosecutors and what the judges actually do with prisoners. So it was viable that you needed all that space. And what's happened in the last 2 years, from what I can tell, is that the way the law has changed and the way the judges are sentencing, we now don't have all those people going to the jail. So it looks like we have excess, so we built a jail that we may not have needed, but we did need 7 years ago.
Well, but again, that jail since completion, that new pod has never been open to full capacity, which is concerning for me. And I understand because when we built it, we got a lot of flack on that because people were more interested in diversion programs. They do not want people sitting in jail. So that's why I'm asking these questions that all of a sudden it happened and we've never really even utilized the expansion or the renovations to full capacity. So you can understand why I'm asking these questions.
But they have used a lot of it, right? I mean,
Well, I guess that's what you got. When that project went, A wing was the last phase of renovation. So that was the smallest part. That new building, the real chunk of that project is the E wing. That's always at almost full capacity. That's the new part, that
Yeah.
you do use that.
Yeah, that's the new part, because you move people from A wing to there.
Yeah, so that has more
Yeah.
beds, and that's why females are down there. We were having 80+ females at that time, I think, and had room for 30. So that was part of the reason I think we built that.
Yeah.
All right, great, thank
Well,
you. So
thank you,
yes, we're
Brian,
in.
for answering my questions.
I'm sorry.
I think I'll schedule a time. I'd like to come out and take a tour of the jail. Actually, I haven't been out in a while. So I'll get with you when I get back, and I'd like to come out and take a look at everything. So
Sabrina, what's the bottom line here? What are you trying to get at? I mean, the space is there. So what, I mean, we
okay,
can't take.
I'm asking questions. Are you offended that I ask questions?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I'm just wanting to
okay.
know what the
I'm
idea is
surprised
that
as
you
a
have.
number person, you're not asking these questions because we spent a lot of money and you imposed a tax on the citizens. So I'm just asking questions. I'm sorry if it offends you.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions, Sabrina, but it normally leads to some kind of, what are we after here? Because it's already built, so we
No, I'm
can't
just
take it away.
asking questions. I'm asking questions, but I don't have to explain myself to you. So thank you. Thank you, Brian, for answering those questions.
Good day.
Brian,
You
have a
guys
great
have a
day.
great
Thank you.
Okay, you too, Byron.
day.
I can't believe she said that to me.
Well, believe it, because you're asking
Just don't-
stupid stuff. I'm entitled to ask questions. I don't answer to you.
I take offense to that. I'm not asking stupid stuff.
Well, don't worry about it. It's not your concern,
I'm
obviously.
not worried about it.
All right, I
Okay,
will
Tony,
tap my.
can you continue on with the meeting?
I will. We're checking for the next.
Beginning of the process.
Pardon me? So what's our,
Where are we?
We're getting, internal services is coming up.
You need me to go and get her?
She's looking at it right now.
I'm sorry, Amy, she was what?
She's on a conference call. She's checking with her right now.
You know what, Tony, we have at 10 o'clock, we have the development board. Do you think Joanne's going to be able to get
Oh,
all
he's
through
waiting.
all hers?
Pardon?
We have 10 o'clock,
Brad-
we have Brad coming in.
Yes. And he's waiting down the hall, waiting for his other folks to be with him.
Oh, Mara. Okay.
so you want to recess till 10 or what?
And that's when Joanne's supposed to be here. Yes, we're gonna take a 10-minute recess, 15-minute recess till 10 o'clock. Yes, Joanne.
Thank you. I'm sorry for that. You. Punch her in the face. I'm sorry for that. I get a punch from the face. I think I might. I'm sorry if I'm offended. Oh. Can I punch her in the face? It's whatever.
We're on.
Okay, we're on. We're gonna wait, Sabrina, till 10 o'clock to start. We got another minute or so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Someone's here.
Yeah, she's behind you.
Hi, good
Okay, so
morning.
There's about a 2-second delay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Through there.
She normally was sitting right there.
She normally was sitting right there.
Sorry that our backs to you.
I know.
Oh, you're fine.
Are you both from Geis?
Yes.
Great, excellent. I like the fields and things are going pretty good.
Yeah.
And stuff there. I drive by just about every morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. they're-
Well, my drive here today, I was nice to drive by both this site and the project and then the LG Chem one on
Yes,
the way in. So it's
Yeah.
exciting to see a lot of.
It is exciting. It's great. I, and, you know, well, I have to go up infirmary now because I can't get through Manaway Corners
Oh, okay.
because that's blocked.
Got it.
They're doing that roundabout.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see what that thing looks like,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of big trucks going through that. It doesn't look like it's gonna be a huge roundabout. And there's semis and big, heavy dump
I
trucks
follow
going
it
through
there.
that.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Tony, it's
Eh,
10
eh,
o'clock.
Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, we will call board back to order. Okay, thank you. Brad?
Good morning. Thank you for having us in today. We're here to discuss a proper enterprise zone property tax abatement for a project that's going to be taking place in Shalersville Township at the Turnpike Commerce Center, which is at the corner of northwest quadrant of 44 and the Ohio Turnpike.
Yep.
This is going to be the first building on the 470 acres there, a 1 million square foot speculative building that is being built. Together with our local incentives, we're also working very closely with the Ohio Site Inventory Program through Jobs Ohio to make this a possibility. And to talk a little bit more about the project, I'm going to turn it over to Mara Marsh.
Morning, Mara.
Good morning. My name is Mara Marish. I am General Counsel with Geis. And I have here with me today is Joe Chappell. He's our CFO. Joe and I have both been involved heavily with this project as we've gotten it off the ground, everything from last year when we acquired the property to today when we drove by the site this morning. We've got some tractors out there and working on some site work. So we're really excited to be here today. Our company is in Streetsboro, Ohio, which is of course a Portage County a city. We are headquartered there. Our ownership lives there, which is one of the reasons why this site's always been on our radar. Our owners have driven by this site for the past 20 years and have always said, this is the site. This, something's got to go here. It's great. It's tremendous access and visibility to the turnpike. So obviously it's had a lot of challenges infrastructure wise. So we are excited that to be able to be the team that can help alleviate those problems with the help of the county and with the help of the state of Ohio to bring in a market rate product that can attract large scale end users looking for logistics and distribution opportunities right here in Portage County.
Yeah, we've got access from east to west coast, a quarter mile away.
Yeah,
That's great. Where will that first building be built? Will be closer to the 44 side or in the middle?
That's the building we're here with for today. Yeah,
Okay.
so that is the first building of the 470 acres. This is about 75 acres, give or take, this project, and it's over 1 million square feet. And it is right at the corner of Beck Road and 44.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Excellent. Now, is that going to be the same type of building that you have in Aurora or you have in Streetsboro?
It's going to look very similar to the one we just built in Streetsboro, right on Route 43.
Right.
It'll be a very similar concept, larger, but
It's going to be one building, 1 million square feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a big building.
Yeah.
So is the goal to have a lot of retail or commercial or storage there, or what's the idea that you guys see the type of building and that million or square feet that you guys are talking about?
Sure. Well, the building is being built speculatively right now, so we do not have an end user specific. Although when we build speculatively, which we've done in our history, we do things to be able to accommodate different types of end users. We know that the modern industrial
end user needs to hire Clear Heights because they've got taller racking now to be able to store for their storage and warehousing needs. We typically don't pour the floor right away because if a tenant comes in, they're going to have understory or underground utilities that they want to design to their design of their layout. So we do things like that to be able to accommodate those end users. But we do, with the access it has to the turnpike, we definitely see logistics, distribution companies really being excited about this area. Our Streetsboro site, we had a lot of last mile initiative companies being liked to be located a little more in the cities where then they can service the community right around. So we see these two buildings as probably playing well together.
Awesome. Awesome. We look forward to having them with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're very excited.
So Mara, so you're still looking at probably like commercial distribution, light manufacturing, and like warehousing users for that site?
Yes, that's what we're anticipating. And that's what our market studies are showing us as well.
Excellent. Anything else, Sabrina? Vicky?
No,
Okay.
actually, I just want to recap my understanding of this enterprise zone agreement is again, it's just being taxed on the real property, which is estimated to be like 70 million. It's for 15 years. And by the completion 2026, I think they're going to have about 375 full-time employees with a new payroll of about 15 million. Is that about right?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Excellent. If you could read that
Okay.
resolution, Sabrina?
Yes. Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into the agreement within the rural enterprise zone of Shalersville Township, Ohio with SFG Geist Shalersville LLC tax abatement agreement for real property only.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you both very much for coming in, Brad.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Fred. Bye, Mara.
Hi, thank you very
Good
much.
to see you, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right, Brian.
Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Joanne.
Shannon.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Hello.
I got different things to say, so bear with me.
Did we,
Thank you, ma'am.
did we scan this to Sabrina, or do you want me, was this part of the package?
This was not.
Is this new? All right, let me just get this scanned to Sabrina.
Came in late. Picture.
We'll scan it right now.
One more. Giving. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want her to scan to send? her?
Probably. Does she want the, yeah, maybe. I think that's already not six. Did we not, they took the flow chart. Okay.
Sabrina, you should be getting a flow chart in your email.
Okay. I'll look for it now.
They're just doing it right now.
No, well, the flow chart came over like 10 minutes earlier,
Yeah,
but this one is just now.
No.
this is the electric aggregation business.
Yeah, I heard something just come through. I got the internal services flow chart. Is that what we're going to look at first?
Yes, or no, she's gonna, the electric aggregate,
That's
this
what I got.
thing here is coming over in a
Okay.
minute.
I just got that, I think. It's downloading though.
Go ahead, Joanne, you can
All
start.
right. So
The last time I was in, we talked a little bit about the aggregation
Mhm.
and this is the countywide aggregation, not our facilities.
Right.
That's a different story. And at the time, there was a request to go out and have bids taken. So I was searching for a company that actually does bid specs that isn't tied to the CCAO program or isn't tied to NOPEC. I was lucky and I found one called Buckeye Energy Brokers, and it so happens that they do the city of Ravenna's aggregation. They do Twinsburg, I think Streetsboro's. So I made contact with the gentleman that runs the program and asked him, and he presented, he made this docket, and he'd come in and talk with you guys if you want him to. But I would advise, since we're close and we need to be able to say, if we're getting out of the NOPEC aggregation program, if we're not going to go let it renew, and you want to bid, we have to give notice by July 1st. I have samples of the notice letter that you would sign and a resolution that you would pass that he sent me that I can get ready for next week. But if you want to go out to bid and do a new RFP, this is the company that I would recommend that we contract with and get it done.
Say that one more time. So if we're gonna put it out for bid, this company is the one that we would versus NOPEC.
This company will write bid specs and then we will send them out to the different suppliers. Yep. And if that's what you want, then I shall make it happen. I'll get all the paperwork and everything ready to get that done.
You know what, Joanne? I think with the energy prices soaring, and you know, I forwarded you a voicemail from another one. I'm getting calls and emails all the time from different energy suppliers. Now is probably a really good time to put this out to see what all's out there and sort of get a little competition going to see, you know, what is our best option. And if it's NOPEC, that's fine. If it's CCO, it's fine, or if it's someone else. But I think as our due diligence, we should look at putting this out there to see what all's out there and see what is our best deal. And I did talk to the president of the trustees, and he agrees. He agrees that we should look to see what's best for the county, which includes the townships.
I tried to call back the number you sent and it was disconnected. So that's the one thing about these energy suppliers, that they're
Come and go.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna find that NOPEC and CCAO, the CCAO programs are pretty stable. So I am sure that we will probably get bids from both of them and maybe a few others. You know, I don't know, but it's.
So we will use Buckeye just to
Do the bids.
get the information, write the specs on what we want.
Then you will decide who you want to.
Okay. So if we give NOPEC notice saying, hey, we're gonna put this out for bid, and then after we do the bidding process, we can decide which one of the 1, 2, 3, or 4
That is correct.
process we have.
Right.
Okay.
And then they'll also, I mean,
yeah.
there's also the opportunity to go right to Ohio Edison for a while, because right now they're at 5.6 cents. And that's what he suggested. He said, in the median time, if we need to, just go back to Ohio Edison until we get prices from the outside.
Is that a fixed rate, the 5.6?
Yeah, as long, yes. And that's the other side. We don't want to go with anything variable.
Right,
obviously.
right,
Yeah, because it's so volatile.
And
So
that's
would
what
you
we're
like
in
me to
right
go
now
ahead
with
and get that
NOPEC.
started for you?
You know what, Joanne?
So
We
the
have
next,
NOPEC. Well, we have NOPEC till the end of the year. We have 6 months left with NOPEC, right?
Yes, but in their contract that was signed, you have to give them a 6-month.
window.
Oh,
No,
no, I
I know.
understand that, but we shouldn't be without a supplier while we're doing this process.
No, you won't be.
Okay,
So my suggestion is if this is for the townships, and that any discussion we have with the board, I think believe that the townships the president and vice president of the Township Association that represents
The
that
township.
large group of folks be with us whenever we're making this decision.
Yeah, I would
So-
agree.
Where you, when we had the big meeting, and I think it was the one where Chuck and Charlie came on
Mhm.
NOPEC, that you had suggested, or a suggestion was brought up that before you make a change or do anything, you should, poll your townships
Okay.
and
Sure.
talk to them, because some of them are very happy with
Right.
the way the program works.
So for the next discussion we have on this, if you can invite Nick and Ed Dean, they're, I think, president, vice president of the association.
Yeah.
So they're here and they could give their voice as
Okay, I can do that.
the organization we're going to affect.
All right. Do you want the gentleman from this company to come?
How
and
much does
talk?
it cost us to him to do this for us? Is there a cost?
He only just sent me, because I asked, I said, you may as well send me your agreement, because I need to be looking at that to see what it is. And to be honest with you, it came in late yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to open it up and look at it yet to see what his charges, but I'm sure there's a charge.
I'm sure.
When Palmer Energy that represents CCAO
Mhm.
worked for us, there was a charge, so I know that there'll be something there. And I'll get that information for you too.
Okay.
So is there a desire for you to meet this gentleman?
This is just
first?
like a clearinghouse for us. He's going to gather 3 or 4 places.
He's gonna write the bid specs that we need. So-
Give me the bid spec so I'm understanding.
Okay, so he's gonna find out what the total aggregation of all the kilowatts in the county have used.
Mhm.
And that's what he's gonna go out there and he's gonna look at the brokers and say, okay, how much will you charge per kilowatt hour if you're going to, have 500,000 kilowatts in the county?
Okay.
And then he does all the legalese and because like I said, I don't want to leave something out in a bid spec that I'm not aware of, because I don't do electric.
Okay.
So he's kind of our, I would say, professional in that area.
Right.
Or will be.
Yep.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get that stuff going for you.
Okay.
Okay, great.
The next thing I had was the project updates.
I gave her one, yeah, because
You
she
got
got
one?
one.
Thank you. I really appreciate the project.
Oh, yeah, these are very helpful. And putting it in red is very helpful.
Well, tell me, because I was like, no, we talk about this or not? So, yeah, all righty.
Joanne,
so
did
the
you
red item-
hand that to me?
Yeah, he did.
Amy did? Okay, so the first, I usually just hit the red spots.
Yeah.
So the Ravenna Courthouse, the Lula elevator has now been pushed out a month on getting it to come in to July. Shannon and I think it might be on a barge somewhere in the sea, waiting to be, taken off ship. I don't know, but it's like every piece of equipment like that we try to get for a job is waylaid. So, at the parking lot, all the bid spec, the bid specs, the drawings have been submitted to the City of Ravenna Planning Commission for their approval, because they have to give their blessing before we can do anything. The main and the jail elevator now at the courthouse, those have to be evaluated now by the state inspectors, and he's coming out in July. Hopefully he won't reschedule. Common pleas courtroom and jury chair replacements. The reason I started to put, I know it's not necessarily a project, but it is something of high value, and it is something that I look for you guys to say, yes, we approve the purchase for the judge, and then it will encourage Joe then to fund that item. So at this juncture, we're finalizing the quantities and the quotes. So you can expect hopefully next week to have an idea of what the funding is going to be if you want to proceed, if you don't want to proceed, I just want to know so that I can go back to her and say, it's not going to be funded this year, it'll be funded next year, or whenever you feel like it will be.
You just put an S on the end of courts. Is it more than just Judge Pittman or we're looking at the courthouse saying these carpets need to be replaced?
Right now, this is all Judge Pittman's courtroom. That we've investigated, and the chairs and so forth. I think that what my hope is with the facilities person that we're going to hire, that is going to be the majority of the time spent is this person going to each building
And seeing what
spending
needs to be done.
time with, and I know a lot of times you think that they're gonna just say, well, we want everything. Well, they're not, it's been my experience in the county here that the elected officials aren't that.
I haven't seen anybody be greedy.
No.
Right, they only say things when they actually are warranted, so it's like,
It's
okay.
usually just passed when they
Right.
should have had it done.
So this time, and I think it would be easier at that point too, than to try to set up kind of a schedule. So we're not replacing things every single year and we get them morphed around. So,
Right.
that's my hope that's what will happen and we'll start clicking them off. And then the same thing with the carpet replacement. That is throughout Judge Pittman's whole area. We just need, it's been kind of hard because we have to try to get the measuring people in there when she doesn't have court.
Right.
So I said to Shannon, I said, let's just look at trying to do it over a noontime period when we think that they'll be out.
After lunch, yeah.
Yeah. At Riddle, the roof replacement and HVAC, we're looking for a kickoff meeting with getting everything started on 6/14 and 15 with the architects. Nothing new with the annex, the admin building. The auditor has a request to have her entire floor painted and carpeting. Those are the quotes that we have gotten so far, or that we would work with. This is on hold for your approval and funding if you desire to do it this year, or if you don't. I want to be able to tell her. She's also requested some door, like a kind of what you've done out here at the front to cordon people off from walking through. She's requested that we get quotes for her on that, which are not in yet.
Okay.
We checked this morning and they still weren't ready, right?
We're having a hard time getting glass people.
The Board of Elections has said to Shannon they want to request paint and carpeting.
For where?
In their training room and in their voting room.
Okay.
Okay. That's the same room?
No,
Where's the training room?
training's over to the left.
When you walk in?
When you walk in the Board of Elections.
Oh, okay.
training.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you vote this way,
Yeah.
the training room's this way?
Yes.
We, so if you want us to go out with quotes, we haven't yet. I don't know if that's something that you want to wait and do later or find out, or if you want us to get prices now so that you can make a decision on funding it, or if that's.
Get prices, but I think we need to look at it too. I mean, I know we did a lot of stuff down there, but I don't know.
We did.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. We just put in a generator and replaced
That whole side we did
Yeah,
this year?
the office area.
All right, we'll do that. The EOC, okay, and I have another handout for you. You approved
So
the
we've got
funding as I
funding, okay,
understand.
yeah.
I think one of them can do that my way down for Amy.
I know.
Oh, Amy's got hers, because she ordered it to Sabrina. Okay,
Yeah, I got
so I know that you approved the funding, but I know you didn't get a chance to actually see, according to Ryan, because I asked him if he brought it up to you or anything. So the site views, the first couple pages are what's existing out there. And, kind of looks wild. But when you get down to like the fourth page down is the new concept of the internal area of, well, it's the site plan. The next page down then is the actual, layout, if you will, or design of what they think they want. Now, Ryan worked with the architectural firm on this so that they could see, could incorporate workrooms, offices. You see the large area there with all the chairs around, that's, would be, the central meeting area. And then the very last page is just a color rendition of what it could look like, which is so fantastic when you compare it to what they have right now, right? What a difference.
Well, they're gonna be doing a whole lot more, right? I mean, they're gonna work
Absolutely.
with the health department, they're gonna work with.
Well, and the thing about it is he wants to be able to use that conference room, make it available for anybody that has,
Right.
you know, big meetings coming up. I mean, it's,
Or
truly would be a good
vaccines or
training
whatever.
facility
Mhm.
kind of thing. And it's more centrally located than having to go out a lot of times to Infirmary Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to be able to see a rendition because I know you approved the funding. And I am working with the architectural firm because we are not going to need to use a construction management team. And they built that into their funding. So the 4.5 is going to come down somewhat,
Okay.
which that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, nice.
Then the Justice Center, one of the things that they had requested is they do not have an access control system on their entrances and in the administration areas by which they like fob in to get into the building. It's keys and things
Out
like
back.
that. They're outdoors
Outdoors, yeah.
and then inside. So they had asked us to go out and get a quote for that work, and we did that. We got 2 prices for that, and that will be on the list for you guys to approve and then put the funding for. And then the final item on my list today is Hills Pond Dam, one of my favorites. We are now at least moving to the area where we've got the title company working on the title searches. So it's moving faster than it ever has. I'm happy about that, and perhaps within a year or so, it'll be all done. It'll be. So,
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. Notice I gave him plenty of time because I'm hoping. Is there anything else, anything that you have a question on or?
Okay.
All right.
That's it. Sabrina, would you go ahead and do the resolutions for internal services?
Oh,
wait,
You're not ready? Mark, hold up.
well, before I want to
I have, yes.
before we want to talk about the resolutions, I want to give you all a flow chart that I did.
And may I also announce, we're gonna pull one of the resolutions,
2 of them.
actually a couple of the resolutions as well. So sorry, I just want to make sure I get it out there before Sabrina reads them, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna pull the resolution under the solid waste, number 4. And we're gonna pull resolution under this, under internal services, under the sheriff, number 12 and 13.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Joanne. I just need to get that down. I didn't want Sabrina to read these.
So the reason I kind of did the flow chart is because sometimes things get pushed around or they get sent in an email and things are signed or whatever before they need to be signed or whatever. But
This is good.
what I normally do, back in January, you had changed the procedure whereby you wanted the departments to do their own resolutions and bring them in and present them to you. Well, as we morphed down the road, that didn't work very well. Or I think some of the elected officials maybe or departments might have thought, you know, I have to drive all the way in here just to present this. And Joanne used to do it. Why can't we go back to the old way? So it was asked, can we go back to the old way? Well, okay, I don't, you know.
You're here anyway, right?
Right, I'm here anyway. I'm, you know, going to come up pretty much every Thursday. So, what I've always felt with the resolution process is that before you can look at a contract or sign a contract, we need the legal authority to enter into it.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's what the resolution does.
Mhm.
So you're going to process the resolution and say, yes, we're going to want to go into a contract with Joe Schmo to plow for the county. Okay? Then the contract is going to be routed to you folks to sign. At which point, when it comes to me, I marry them together. The resolution that was passed prior with that contract, I then route it to Janet Esposito because she's going to certify the funds so that you are aware when you get it that there's money to pay for this. I route it to the prosecutor then after Janet because they need to make sure that it meets all the legalese, which I will be honest, there are times when I will get I will get a contract ahead of time and I will send it to them and say, look, would you guys please re-review this? Because I see terms in here that I don't think the county will agree to, and I'll point them out for them so that I can get them back faster. Because the whole thing is that we want to get them out and get them back and get them in the hands of the people so that the work can get done. So once the prosecutor signs, then it's all brought down to you folks for you guys to sign. Once you guys sign them, then I send them out to the departments to send to their contractors, or we send them email out to their contractors so they have them.
So we will create a resolution and pass a resolution before we see the contract.
Many times you do, yes, because there's no, if we don't do it.
It holds up the process, right?
That way. See, and that's why I'm saying
either side.
Right. And part of my job has always been to be kind of the gatekeeper and not send you things that I think are screwy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I get some screwy ones and I'll just go back to the department and say, this is not going to work.
Right.
Or I will deal with their contractor myself and say, okay, this is what we can have and this is what we'll agree to, but this is not what we will. So I take that, I've always taken that responsibility on. And I don't think that we've ever gotten caught doing anything we shouldn't have gotten caught with.
Let me repeat your flow chart so I grasp it. So I have this brilliant idea, and the brilliant idea is I want to pass a resolution to do X. The board passes the resolution, so I'm able to do X. Then we put it out for bid to get. You go ahead. You're shaking your head now. So we put it out to bid to get a contract, or the bid is done prior to that.
Well, there's a couple of different things. Okay. There's only certain things that have to be bid.
It's over a certain dollar amount.
Correct. So if it's under that, there's nothing to do with the bid. If there is a bid, then we don't even have a resolution yet. We started with a resolution to start the bid process. And then we go through the bid process. And then by the time the bids come in, then you're going to get a resolution awarding that bid. And that bid gets connected with the agreement and it goes off, it's on its way. So when you talk in a bid situation, it's
so we're going to do a resolution for something I want to do. They get the resolution, and then we get the estimate we think that's going to be, and then they give us a contract, and you look over it. You have the prosecutor's office look at it. So once everything is good. Pardon?
Janet.
Yes, and the auditor's next in line at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we passed a resolution for something we wanted, and now this just finds out about it, and then that resolution goes with the end product, and we marry them together. Do we get to see it, and then we get to see it one last time before it starts?
When you sign it, you guys are the last signers.
Right.
All those pink sheets that you love.
Yeah. You guys, that's why you guys or the agency, like MRDD, we do a lot of contracts for them, and MHRB, you're not their contracting authority, but their person signs last like you guys sign last so that they know exactly what's going on.
All right, great, thank you.
But we are going to be implementing DocuSign.
Correct.
Which would then allow you the ability to go out and take a look at that contract, right?
Supposedly at any given step, I'm not, I hope that that's the way it's going to work. That's the way it kind of went through that we were understanding. But I've not seen it work. So, yeah.
So that would be helpful.
And that'll be different because you can sign it that way then electronic signature. So that'll morph it up a little bit more than have to wait for actually come in and have to do it or whatever.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we can do the resolutions.
Yeah, and we're pulling the solid waste specifically because we don't have.
Is Sabrina gone?
What else? Number 4. Yeah, because we don't have the signatures back.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners sets the request for proposal date for the professional information technology and telecommunications consulting services. And Joanne, that's for the new phone system, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's countywide phone system. Yes, that's what I'm looking for the consultants for that piece.
Okay, thank you.
Second?
Sabrina,
She,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners declares the necessity to lease one vehicle for use by the Portage County Building Department. Joanne, I have a quick question on that one. Is the car that they're trading in, is that the one that they're replacing?
Yes.
Because that
And did we
one
do-
lasted like 14 years. So why
So
would
we
we
should
lease
buy-
versus purchase?
I am a person who I believe you need to look at each and every purchase of a vehicle that way. Because at one point when we went with enterprise leasing, it was like, we're never going to buy again.
Oh,
We're going to
no.
lease everything. And then you see that didn't work.
Yeah,
Randy, because he knew that the last one was done through a lease, he felt like he had to do a lease, and that was what was in his budget.
Okay.
So if you want to go back and revisit purchasing it, then
Yes.
he'd need to have the funding put into his budget to buy.
No, I thought we had that discussion that for vehicles like that are
Yeah.
replaced every 10 or 15 years,
Absolutely.
that don't get a lot of mileage, that we would
Exactly.
purchase that versus have a long time
Purchase.
lease.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was one of the times when people were going out and getting information themselves,
Right.
and now we're trying to bring
Yes.
it back underneath everything, so.
You know, the cost benefit, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
we need to do.
All right, so would
Yeah.
you like me then to,
Let's-
Yes.
Randy,
Let's
You get
pull
that
that
taken-
one. Let's pull that one till we get a definite on that. Cause yeah, I looked at that and I thought, well, maybe it's one they had sitting around, but then I'm thinking if they're replacing the one they're trading in, that lasted 14 years. It just made more sense to purchase.
Okay,
Okay.
I will.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners authorizes the Portage County Solid Waste Management District to enter into an agreement for services to provide drop-off collection services to Palmyra Township for a 2-year period.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement for damage assessment software on behalf of the Portage County Emergency Management Agency and Futurity IT, Inc.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement with Retail Strategies LLC for consulting services.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes. And number 7, is that the old,
Medical,
thank you?
yes. Yeah, because
Finally.
there was a, well, yeah,
I was excited to see how much it brought in.
Yeah.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners agrees to amend resolution number 22-0247, awarding the sale of the real property owned by Portage County located in Ravenna Township.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes. Nice.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorizes the purchase through the state term schedule STS 800925, index STS 515 of one dump body snow and ice control truck equipment package from Concord Road Equipment Manufacturing, Inc. for use by Portage County Engineer.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Board of Commissioners accept the proposal of Bremen, Pedersen, Inc., GPI, and enter into an agreement for providing professional construction administration inspection services for the project known as 2022 Subdivision Construction Administration Contract, Portage County.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners accepts the proposal of EMH&T and enter into an agreement for providing professional services for the project known as Stormwater Management Maintenance and Inspection Program.
Second,
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 1 with the Portage County Recorder and COT Systems, Inc.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Tony?
Yes. Yeah, one more. 11 with the recorder.
Did you just do
I
that?
just did it.
Cotton, right?
I was sleeping.
Done.
Oh, no. All
All
right.
right, thank you very much, ladies.
Yeah.
Hey, John, would you mind sending me did you have a flow chart for the contract process as well, or just written?
That was just written. I have it with me. I can make you a copy. It's the old one,
Right?
the one prior to that.
No, you had recently just updated,
Yes,
oh, yeah, the new one. For the contract process, the procedures for contract process.
Yeah, we have four.
Could you just email it to
and
me?
then, sure.
So I can marry it up with the.
Sure.
Thank you.
Right, right. The other thing?
That is. So we'd take is there anything else until 11? Public comment? There is public comment.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so take a recess for,
Doesn't it say
Is it the
prosecutor?
prosecutor coming in?
yes, you weren't waving your arms to me. Good morning.
I would like it.
I missed you. How are you this morning?
Real good. How's everyone?
Excellent, good. In Iroquois is this in Streetsboro?
Yeah, this is the one in, actually, it's in Brady Lake.
Brady Lake, okay.
Do you need
Yep.
Joanne? It says and internal services. Should we go and grab her?
She was gonna be here.
Or-
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Okay, here's the situation. Basically, there's an encroachment over the property.
Oh, yeah, okay, that was one we spoke about.
Yeah,
last
we
week.
talked
I got it.
about them.
Yep.
So the question is, if you don't need it, if you just want to sell it, we can put it out to bid.
Mhm.
So if you'd rather do that,
So it wasn't this two-part, we put that out for bid, and if the person gets it, then we allow that other person to, they're changing two property lines.
yeah, there's actually 3 properties.
Yeah. Ours,
That's what I get for not looking in the back and see.
I missed them too.
I need to go and get her.
Yeah, originally there was 3
This is
properties.
another one of these projects like Hill Pond.
But I was talking with Leslie downstairs, and it seems like the 163 is the one right here. That house was removed. So we basically don't need them to do anything.
Mhm.
So if you just wanted to fix the problem on 162, all you have to do is adopt a resolution saying we no longer need it for public use. And we should let it out to bid. I think that would be easier rather than give it to someone.
Well, and that's, I think you're right, and I think that's what I,
Do that one more time.
we had
So
said.
161 is one we're getting rid of. We were
Yeah.
going to put up for bid.
Yeah.
And then I thought that house on 162 kind of overlapped in this 161,
Yeah.
and then 162 and 3 overlapped.
Yeah, 161 is our lot,
That's it.
and that's the one, Vicky, can I see that?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
This is the one, when you look at it, you can see from the aerial,
Right, right,
that overlaps on your property.
right.
There was a house on 163 that also overlapped, but it sounds like that's been torn down.
I thought that's one that somebody was trying to sell.
I think Ms. Mullins owns 162.
Okay.
She's trying to sell that to the fella, but with the house being over on 161, you can't do that. See that, that's on the county.
Right,
property.
right.
So if we wanted to be out from under this, if you don't need that lot, all you have to do is adopt a resolution saying you don't need it for public use,
Okay.
and then we let it out to bid.
All right, so the way that it was explained last time is this lot that there's another, but you're saying that lot on the property line on 62 and 63
Yeah.
there was in question as well.
Yeah,
So if somebody wanted to buy, and you're saying that house is gone?
from what I've heard, and we probably want to confirm it, what they thought about doing in 206
Mhm.
was doing a replat and basically having the county piece off your vacant portion and give the balance to 162
Mhm.
and have the 163 likewise,
Mhm.
piece off their problem.
Yep.
But what happened there, that was in spouses, and one of the spouses died.
Yes,
And it
yes.
Went through probate.
It did go through paper?
No,
It did not. Okay, that's what I thought we were talking about.
That was the
Yes.
problem.
That's how it's got, and to be such a
So it's
standstill.
61 and 62 that the spouse passed away and we're trying to get rid of that.
Was 163 is where the spouse passed away,
Okay,
but their house has been removed.
okay.
So we pretty much don't have to worry about
Okay.
163.
So if 163 is sold, they can build on their lot.
That was between 163 and 162. It doesn't involve us right now.
Okay,
They still have to go through probate before they can sell 163 because it's in the spouse's name.
But what if she does, I mean, it was brought up, I think, last meeting that she thinks she has to go through a full probate, maybe she doesn't have the money. Is there such a thing as partial probate? I mean, yeah,
That's something we probably wouldn't want to advise her on.
you
She
wouldn't
could-
want to advise.
No,
You
but she-
would, okay.
we probably don't want to advise her on. She could do a release from administration, which
Okay.
is a little bit more affordable.
Uh-huh,
That'd be something she want to speak with her private attorney.
yeah.
okay.
But for our purposes, with
But that house is gone.
from what I've been told, it sounds like.
I mean, last week it sounded like it was still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Was that
want to
just
source
recently
it.
torn down or, I mean,
Let's find out if that house exists anymore.
okay.
And then, but we have, so 161, putting it up for public bid,
Yeah.
finishes that between 161 and 62. We're done with that.
Right.
And that's our piece of the property.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the address? I drive home
Yeah.
from Brady Lake Road. I'll stop and take pictures.
Well, there's no address on our parcel. It's just on Hillside and Iroquois. The neighboring property is 2255 Iroquois.
2255.
Yeah.
And where am I looking to see which parcel is the house not supposed to be there?
Okay, you want to look on the one to the left. of
There you go. Here.
Yeah,
Oh, all right, yeah, let me take that with me.
yeah.
This is the one we want to look at.
So there should be only on that corner, one house.
I'll take some pictures. Am I okay tomorrow?
Yes.
After I already did.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
So then when we do the regular bid notification, that's what I said we could do last time.
Right.
Because my feeling is that you may only find one person that wants the property, that would want the bid specs to be able to bid.
Right.
So,
Sounds good.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for coming
Oh,
in.
absolutely.
We were going to recess until 11 for public comment. And, do we can?
We can do what?
We can do take public comment early?
Take Mr. Snipper.
Okay.
Smith, you got 5 minutes, sir, for public comment. How are you this morning?
I can do it.
You're looking good.
Thank you, sir. Well, I want to introduce this program. Hey, Sabrina. Yeah.
Hey,
This is video. Want to read it?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll be turning in a grant to you guys in a couple of weeks for the we give it to you guys called the Portage County grant. I have it all written up. It's just not- I don't know the name. It doesn't have a specific name for the grant. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
It was just the money came in. ARPA.
Oh, that's
That
what
was-
you're, yeah.
That's okay.
I'm getting old. I'm 52. I'm not young.
It's all good.
anymore.
It's all good.
I can't hear it. But yeah, ARPA. So this is my program. When I wrote the grant, I figured you didn't understand 6 moves. My program is called 6 Moves to Change the Narrative. I believe that a lot of problems affecting the mental health of the Black and poor American communities, which is Black and white communities, all stem from a certain narrative. And if we can change that narrative, I think things can get better. I'm not saying this can change the whole world, but I think it can make a difference. I call it 6 moves of the way I explain my research. It's on
Allison, did you want to come and sit up here? Allison is our grade coordinator or administrator, so make sure that she'll be working with you on that.
okay. So on page 15 or 16,
Ellison.
you'll see that I put a chessboard together. Called 6 Moves to Checkmate to explain the policies now compared to the policies that may change the narrative. So now we have the United States President supporting Black History Month. And we think that's a good thing. You would think, well, Black History Month is a good thing for Black people, but it is not. Just to put it out there, it is a horrible thing. Because we find that Alex Haley, the author of Roots, is a plagiarism. It never happened. So that made me go deeper into the research. So this book is full of my research, but I'm trying to explain it in the chessboard. That if we make Alex Haley like the queen to move around to promote in different schools, community centers, they don't promote that Alex Haley was sued in 1996. They're still promoting that Blacks were slaves in school. When you talk to school, my granddaughter comes home from school and says, "Granddaddy, you were slaves." But in actuality, we were not. In 1865, there is Reconstruction. That's not pushed. What's more pushed is during that month is Juneteenth. Juneteenth is pushed, but that's not real. That never happened, because if that happened, Calvin Dale Wilson's essay on the Black masters couldn't be true. But his essay is true. The plagiarism, Alex Haley is sued in court, $500,000 out of court settlement. That means Alex Haley's rendition of Black history is a fraud. Obviously, Calvin Dale Wilson's essay is never pushed. Have you ever heard of Calvin Dale Wilson?
Have not.
Have you ever heard of Alex Haley? Never heard of Calvin Dale Wilson.
Well, I'm gonna speed you up because I got about 3 more minutes.
Okay, listen.
And I want to get as much as we can.
When you see the grant, it's gonna come in and saying 6 Moves is a program where I want to explain this as a game. So you have 24 people and you stand on this chessboard, or you can play between a friend. I played with my own, I hate saying playing with myself, but I was playing with myself one day.
I saw that.
When I read it, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't, but I was playing with myself here. I thought about that. If you can do this alone,
Yeah.
You can look at some of these pieces and say, well, how can 1,515 Black men elected in the South in 1865 affect the mental health of Black youth? A lot, because we thought we were slaves around that time and just released from slavery and couldn't read. Most of us was running. But there were 1,517 elected officials in the South that were Black. How many were in the North? Well, since we were running to the North for our freedom, how many elected officials were Black in the North?
Not many.
One. You heard it before, huh? One in Missouri. One in Missouri. So the narrative has to change.
So when you get this grant money and you have the 6 moves that you're talking about, that I've talked to you before and I find you very, very interesting and very different from the narratives I hear. What is your objective if you were to get this grant money? How do you use that money to begin to change their narrative?
What I have is 8 parcels of land over in McElrath Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's a majority in the past Black community.
Yep.
There's these ideas I have for containers. You heard livable containers. I want to deck them out, make them real nice, put like 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I researched this $4,000 container. With $200,000, I can do 7 containers. I can turn those containers into like a center.
Okay.
Where right now for the grant, I'm asking to go to fancy soiree hotels and then have seminars and summits, like you go in 2 days and everybody stay overnight. We have questions, panel speakers, and we play this game. We get involved with one another and actually get involved in the narrative, get involved in the research to find out what I'm saying is true, but it's never heard.
That's you and I have spoken that before, and I agree with you. So the money would be for those containers that you just spoke of, and being able to hold seminars.
And with those containers, and the budget will also have funding for billboards, radio, and TV.
How large is this budget you're asking for?
$200,000.
Okay.
Can you get with Allison to follow the process?
I got
Mr. Smith, what
I talked to her already. I talked to her a couple of weeks ago. I finished the grant. Well, I didn't. I would have turned it in if I did, but it's really great.
Yeah.
I'm really
Well,
proud
there's
of
still plenty of time.
I'm really proud of myself.
And that's we're exceeding, but that's what we want to see is the grant. I mean,
I just wanted
this project.
I wanted to bring this.
I think that's pretty cool.
Because you're gonna say,
and I can't wait to read it.
6 moves? What's the 6 moves? So now when you get the grant and you see, I'm saying 6 moves, you understand what I'm saying. That's the only reason I came to that.
Sounds great.
6 moves.
Yes.
Okay?
Mo, thank you very much. Mo, shake my hand there, sir.
I don't know if we don't COVID-19.
I do not. I do not. Thank you.
All right.
Allison, does Mr. Smith have your card?
Oh, yeah, I think the link to the.
Perfect.
Did you see the link on the website?
Well, she.
If anybody needs a little break, 11:05 is public hearing.
You're sorry, what?
I'm gonna step out for a moment.
Yeah, I know. That's why
Step out.
I did email it.
All right, good job, doing good bit.
They're not on paper.
Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you very much.
We just pull up the, the resolution, I think spring is gonna read it.
What are we doing?
They're just adding verbiage.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Did she have this?
I did scan it to her.
Okay.
Yeah, she.
I'm gonna go to the recess.
Yeah.
So,
job description. And, let's see what goes, but he's loving it.
Yeah.
We've got three,
It's a little bit overwhelming, but he's loving
It's
it.
a challenge, though. I think that's what he was looking for. He didn't really have a challenge before.
Yeah, but he's a good person.
Minute and a half.
And so, yeah, I think
And that's a good foundation.
yeah, I think he's a good fit for that department.
I can just sum this up.
Magic, there you go.
Nikki,
If you have. Red or. Yeah, they don't usually.
Okay.
can I sum up his intent and then we put this in, say there's a letter to go in the record?
I think that you, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
that will do.
Cool.
Did we lose Sabrina?
No, she walked off. She's there.
And watch clock never moves. We are ready. We are going to recess the Board of Commissioners and go into public hearing. Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I'm Tony Badalamenti, Vice President of the Board. I will convene this Thursday, June 9th, 2022, a public hearing at 11:05 in the Board of Commissioners Room 449 South Meridian Street, Ravenna. Today, we will hear testimony on petitions to alter the portion of Diagonal Road, Shalersville Township, Portage County. Ohio Revised Code 5553.23 specifies that if a person throughout whose land and public roads have been established, which is under the jurisdiction of the Board of County Commissioners, desires to change, relocate such road or any part of therefore through any part of a person's land, the person may file a petition with the Board of Commissioners. On 11th day of March 2022, Portage County Board of Commissioners received a petition from Lakeside Sand and Gravel, Inc. to alter a portion of Diagonal Road, CH 155, located in Shalersville Township, Portage County, State of Ohio. The petition as submitted did not contain all the required information to proceed, so it was resubmitted on 7th day of April 2022 by Benjamin Kukowski and the Vice President and Larry Kukowski and the President, Lakeside Sand and Gravel. The revised petition requests the Board of Commissioners to alter the portion of Diagonal Road, CH 155, through lands owned by the petitioner and located in Shalersville Township, Portage County, State of Ohio. The purpose of this hearing today is a public hearing to hear the testimony for or against the petition to alter the portion of Diagonal Road. The notice of this public hearing was published in the Record Courier newspaper on May 15, 2022, and posted on the county's website and the official bulletin board located on the 1st and 7th floor on May 6, 2022. I'm going to now swear in anybody that wishes to speak, or if you think you're going to be speaking, to the members and staff of those that would like to speak during this public hearing, please raise your right hand to be sworn in. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
And I solemnly swear
that the testimony you are about to give
that the testimony I am about to give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
If so, please respond, I do.
I do.
Thank you. Everybody, and I have a timer up here, it'll be given 3 minutes to pro or against, and who'd ever like to start? Nikki? Yes, sir.
Face the audience, please.
If we're going to could you slide that podium over to here so we could have, so people would or you could leave it right there.
Yeah.
Leave it by the door right there, Sarah. Put it where you are. Mickey, we're gonna ask you to use the podium.
Okay.
We are formal now, Mickey.
That's right.
And you can turn it towards, so you're talking.
Yeah, we gotta get it up.
To the audience.
Thanks.
How close do you want to be?
And we-
Can we slide it closer?
Oh, okay.
You are on candid camera, sir.
Okay. Okay, first of all, my name's Mickey Marazzi and I'm the Portage County engineer. I've been your engineer for quite a few years now. And I would like to make a few comments about the proposed petition. We did submit a letter to the Board of Commissioners detailing our response to the petition. We attached to that letter a copy of our comments relating to the review of the detailed plans that were submitted in support of the petition. And I would just like to say that from my office, I have with me today Larry Jenkins, who is my Chief Deputy County Engineer. And Larry was charged with the responsibility of reviewing this project. And I'm going to have Larry make a presentation to you now. He's going to talk a little bit about an explanation of what the project is exactly. And then he's going to give you a summary as well about our comments and our opinion of what we think.
Thank you.
Okay.
Larry?
You want me to look at the PowerPoint, please? Yes, if you would. Good morning, everyone. Like Mickey said, I'm Larry Jenkins with the County Engineer's Office. I have a PowerPoint here. It's really short. Just bear with me. Just giving us an overview of what the project location is, what's proposed to be done, and then some conditions that we have in support of the project. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. He's given me a wand, I feel like Harry Potter here, to move this, but I'll probably fail.
Harry Potter.
But
Actually, I think we can.
can we?
Keyboard and let's see.
Let's see. I like the mouse.
Yeah, I can do the mouse.
Yeah, I got that.
So I can put it and it should go.
Sweet. All right. So this is the petition area to alter the portion of Diagonal Road, as was mentioned and read by Tony. By the high rise code, the county engineers got to make a presentation and report to the board in the hearing to show support or no support for the project. To start off with, County Engineer's Office supports the project. We wanted to let you kind of know where that is exactly. It's what the Kukowskis at Lakeside Sand and Gravel are proposing is a 12x6 box culvert. That box culvert is normally used to convey water across the roadway. It's their intent to actually raise that box culvert, install it a little higher than what normally would be so that they can install a conveyor system so it can serve one side of their existing facility and existing operations, serve the other side, where they'll have new operations. This is located on the section of Diagonal Road from 303 to Frost Road, highlighted Elliman there and the Tile Turnpike. So the applicant submitted a full set of construction drawings. You can see they're not approved quite yet, but we have met with the designer, we've met with the applicant, and we've given them a set of review comments that the office feels comfortable and confident they can make all the changes. And upon all the changes being made, the county engineer's office will support the petition itself. The next thing is, it's hard to see here, but this is just an area, close-up area. In the top section here is the length of the road that's going to be impacted by this box culvert installation. This is the plan view. It's about 500 foot of road. The road itself is not going to be changed horizontally, but it is going to be raised 3 foot vertically. That 3 foot is shown down here, and that 3 foot of rise allows us a smoother transition for the traveling public. So ultimately, there is some benefit to the traveling public after this is complete. There will be some delays in a 30-day closure, but when it's completed, it will not impact the traveling public. It will actually be an improvement to the roadway is the reason we support that. A little closer detail to see where that is. It's right next to just north of the Hattie Larlam Center. I've shown here in the blue, maybe 200 feet north and 200 feet south is the impact of Diagonal Road. And that's where their conveyor crossing is. You can see their operations or existing operations right over here. So they surround the Hattie Larlam facility pretty much to the north and to the east. I believe my understanding, and you know, if I'm saying something incorrect, Lakeside will fix that up for me. But I think they have a new operation over on this side, and what they want to do is install a conveyor system from one side of Diagonal Road to the other, so they can get to this area for all their operations and mine some sand and gravel. That'll actually provide a future reduction to off-road trucking to bring all of that material from one side to their existing facility on the other. So that's another benefit to the whole entire project happening. You hopefully won't see an increase in off-road truck traffic taking the material from one side of the road to the other. So that's a benefit. Another page of their plan shows the closure that's going to take place during construction. One of the things that we put in here, and this is an add by us, is the inconvenience to the traveling public is a concern, and we are minimizing that time duration for that closure to be 30 days. So that is a requirement that they're going to have to follow up on. The petition to alter, you know, in closing, the petition to alter, you can see it's right here, a little close up of that, is the alteration is the installation of the crossing and the support, has the support of the county engineer. The second part of our letter that we submitted to the board, it actually has our review comments from April. We are incorporating or recommending all of those review comments, everything that's within there. As long as all those comments are addressed, we are able to provide support to this project, but cannot provide or recommend approval until the plan itself is approved and all items of our comments are approved. And the last statement here from the county engineer's office is once that's approved, we have no concerns, objections to the proposed alteration, and ultimately will recommend approval to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yep. So any questions at all?
Nope.
Okay, that's all the county engineer's office has. Thank you.
Before I have others from the side that for, I'm going to summarize a letter from Mr. Kalecki, who is the CEO of Hattie Larlam's right across the street, that Hattie Larlam will be affected. The biggest potential impact of Hattie Larlam results in the project is our water supply. There are 124 residents in the center and Diagonal Road, so uninterrupted water supply is important in order to meet the needs of our residents. The Eclipse Companies has proposed a solution that will provide continuous water supply. They have also guaranteed the work that is needed on the water main between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. Next paragraph is please be advised, Hattie Larlam has no objections for this proposed project. I would also note that Kukowski's family and Lakeside have been great neighbors to Hattie Larlam for many years. We appreciate their effort to minimize the visual impact for the new conveyor system and surrounding neighborhoods. With that, Mr. Kalecki gives his full approval of that. Okay. And from right now, I'd like to, if anybody would like to speak and on the side of and for it, please do so now. Dad, they're all looking at you. Yes, sir, you have to walk that distance. It's like a plank. And I know you may speak for a long time, but you got 3 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you, Kukowski, Lakeside Sand and Gravel. We started this thinking it was going to be a lot simpler project. Pardon me. We're talking about putting a conveyor under the road. We have alternatives to doing that. One alternative is a lot of trucks taking our gravel from the west side of Diagonal to our processing plant on the other side of Diagonal. We really want to avoid that. That's not in anybody's best interest. The conveyor is a simple, cheap alternative to that. There's two ways to do a conveyor. One is to go under the road. Basically, no one's going to notice this thing. If we go over the road, I don't know if anyone's been down Beck Road. It works. It's a big monstrosity that crosses the road. We wanted to avoid that for noise, for, the aesthetics and just the dust and everything. We feel this is the best way to get our reserves from one side of the road to the other. And lastly, the last alternative would be putting a whole nother processing plant over there, which we don't want.
Yeah.
So, Hattie Larlands, we've worked with them. I feel like we resolved all the issues there. They are the only landowner affected by our project other than the road closure. We own both sides of the road. We actually purchased the house right there just to make this easier. So, I think that's all I have to say.
And this is the 30 days with being proposed that road's closed?
Yeah, I would yield to Tom Grusty.
Tom, you got it, sir. If you could come to the podium.
30 seconds, right?
Or shorter.
Oh, that's right. I am Tom Agresti with Eclipse Companies. That is correct. When we met with Larry, I think it was a concern as far as the time frame, but we acknowledged that we work within that. The biggest thing was the water with Hattie, and our representatives actually met out there with Stephen and came up with some solutions. We're actually going to have trucks on standby with potable water. They actually fortunately have old connections from old tanks that will be able to actually hook right up their 2-inch valves. So it kind of worked out, and we'll be able to have it. So again, obviously with the special people that are there, that was a big concern. So, and then as far as the 30 days, yes, we'll get it done. Just like Ben and his family, we'll work whatever necessary hours to make sure that it's done, because we understand it's an inconvenience for the traveling public.
So Hattie Larlam has a concern about the water. It's going to be off for that 7-hour period from 5 a.m. to noon.
12 midnight to 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
midnight to 5. Okay.
Yeah, 5 hours.
And they are the only one, just to clarify, they're the only one affected on that split, or
They're the end of the line.
they're the end of the line.
Right.
So it's not like any other residents, or, the good thing is it's a dead end.
Okay, and then you have, in case of emergency, water trucks will be available.
That's correct. If I'm not mistaken, it's Sunrise Springs. So, yeah, so we'll have, I think there's 3 or 4 tankers that if we waste the water, we'll waste the water, but we'll be prepared just in case.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank
Would
you.
anybody else like to speak on behalf? Thank you. We'll now hear from members of the public who are against proposed allegations. Are there any? Hearing none, I thank you. After hearing the discussion presented today and the consideration of the evidence, the Board of Commissioners finds the alterations will not cause serious injuries or disadvantages to the public. It may make the findings and such facts in this journal and authorization of the road in conformity with the prayers and petitions or the manner of which will, in its judgment, be the best interest of the public with the resolution, the majority vote. Resolution. Amy, where the
First.
okay. All right. We will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Is the sound off?
She's
muted.
Sabrina, you're muted.
You're muted.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We would like your vote. Thank you. Okay. Right. All right. Motion, okay, that action you gave me, where's that? Okay. We'll reconvene at this time for the Board of Commissioners meeting,
There's a resolution.
and the resolution is.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the Board of Commissioners approves the petition to alter a portion of Diagonal Road, County Highway 155, located in Shalersville Township, Portage County, and to the order the proposed changed in the manner required by the Portage County engineer.
as provided in his report. Right?
Good?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
Second?
Sabrina,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes. Gentlemen, that's it. We look forward to
Thank you
seeing
so
how great
much.
that's gonna look.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Would you write your phone number down for me again?
Yeah.
That's. We'll call and see what the menu's gonna be.
Is this your executive session? County jobs. Okay.
Right. No, not at all. You want, you take one for, for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Is Kelly Joe here?
she's on. I just need her.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, we're gonna have an executive session, considering it's budget related. You may wanna just. Okay.
Do you need anybody else for that?
Janet should come along as well. Allison, did you need a copy of anything? Oh, got project list.
Yeah. I think I have that.
Yeah, and then,
And I have. the
could you make a
cost.
copy and then bring it back already?
Yes.
Thank you. Make one for Joe too, please.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yes.
It's a nice building.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
And that's, yes.
I cut off my hair.
Oh,
Wow.
It's summertime. It's my 50-year-old cut.
50-year-old. Oh, were you?
My change of life did.
All right.
Yeah.
I had my change of life about 2 years. I turned 65 the other.
Oh, yeah?
But-
Did you get your hair cut?
Yeah. Day before.
Oh,
Can't you tell?
Very nice.
No, but
Stunning.
very-
my daughter said,
Very nice.
I like it. And I'm like, well, I don't really care.
I like it. I really do too.
Back in the day, I was short, but my sister's.
You're all still our show, by the way.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Guys, just so you know, this is being.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Oh, you need the mic?
The county,
Please.
no, they could just.
Thank you.
So we're going to.
So just unmute, you can unmute us.
We'll fix it.
You ready?
Okay, are we ready? I'll make a motion to go into executive session in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G4. The Board of Commissioners moves into executive session preparing for bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
Second.
Sabrina,
Yes?
Vicky,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.